My name's Krishna Balasubramani. I'm the managing partner at SBH Legal and one of the owners of this historic building that we bought. We moved into this building in January of 2021, and we immediately noticed the road noise. We look out over Highway 405, and it was something that when we were on speakerphone, we'd have people on the other end asking about the volume. And just in a basic level. And now if a loud car went by or there was yelling from people outside, you would hear it, over the person talking. So the noise was the number one, but the temperature issues were a close second that we noticed because it's an old building, right? We have, some have storm windows, but a lot of them are single pane windows. It's also a historical building, so our ability to change the windows in any way was going to be very limited. And so we were in a tough spot right when we moved in terms of knowing we had a problem without a lot of good solutions. We've been working with Energy 350 back from when we purchased the building, and we were working on the HVAC replacement, and they helped us in several areas in terms of trying to be as sustainable as we could and energy efficient as we could, given the age of the building. And so soon after we moved in, I called my contact there and said, look, this is a problem. Do you have any potential solutions? Knowing in the back of my mind that replacing windows was probably going to be cost prohibitive, and not even dreaming that there was such an option, right? I'd never seen or heard of such an insert before. And the folks there quickly came up with a suggestion, and once we heard about it, it seemed like a no-brainer. The windows don't change. There are some differently shaped windows with some arches. There's some 15-foot windows, and even the kind of traditionally shaped windows, I think, have settled a little bit differently over 100 years. Ultimately, the solution we settled on is a secondary window, and as I understand a secondary window, your original window remains in place, and they laser measure the size of the window, and with these very precise measurements, they came back with these inserts that have gaskets on the outside, and they just kind of push them into place. And it makes it airtight, and but yet removable if you want to remove it for any reason.
Some gentleman came to my office. I think I floated down the hallway to talk to someone else, and by the time I got back, they were installed. I had real concerns beforehand about what it would look like or how it would feel, and you don't really notice it at all. It basically just serves as a shield against airflow, be it hot air or cold air, and more importantly for me was the noise impact. It significantly reduced the noise in my office from the cars and people down below. And so it kind of just insulated my office in terms of creating kind of a sound bubble that became very helpful.
The differences were immediate and profound. If you have a single pane window, you're still going to have a lot of noise that comes through. Now you have an additional layer. It acts and reacts more like a modern window because you have those additional barriers. Feels like more like a traditional, Class A building at this point. You don't really hear the road noise at all anymore. It's a night and day difference. We don't, worry about being on speakerphone and having the client or the judge on the other line wonder what's going on in our background.
It's definitely increased my ability to focus and stay focused. Prior to the secondary windows, I was getting interrupted, be it my train of thought or conversations with lots of noise. And since the secondary windows have been installed, it's been much easier to just focus on whatever task I have in front of me and also communicate with my clients, colleagues, in order to perform my job.
As we get to higher temperatures, come back after a weekend of 95 plus degrees, the offices are still set to the right temperature, and so I think the windows play a role in helping kind of moderate and keep that temperature and not overworking the HVAC system. I definitely recommend them, and I think their value is in their efficiency, just in terms of the cost versus the benefit, right? I think the cost is significantly low, and maybe it's 20% of replacing the windows, maybe even a smaller percentage. And if what you're looking for is the noise reduction or the temperature control, I think they're as effective as getting a new set of windows. So it was a pretty easy decision for us.